Okay, I'm going to walk you through a process now called Poupe wiping, which is where you mix more than one color together on a plate. And it's a way to kind of maximize your runs through the press if you have something kind of different that you want to do. It's a way of kind of printing in multiple colors with a fewest amount of plates. So let's say I've got the top of this print and I want the top part to be blue. So I'm going to go ahead and just wipe or squeegee on some blue ink onto the top part of this plate, right? Kind of work my way down to about where I want it to stop. And, you know, kind of get as much of the ink off there as possible, right? Okay, then I'm going to, let's say I want the bottom part to be printed in this kind of dark burgundy color that I've mixed up over here. I'll go ahead and squeegee that onto the bottom part of the plate. So I'm going to go ahead and put that burgundy color down here. And make sure that's good and mixed in and got it on there, everything. And so then the places where these inks mix together is going to turn into, you know, purple, right? So red and blue are going to make purple. I could go with black and red. I could do any of these kind of things that I feel like doing. I could only wipe a small section up in blue and leave everything else red. I could do everything else blue and just a tiny bit red. For the sake of this particular demo, I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get my red tarlatan and my blue tarlatan out. And I'm going to, again, find the dirtiest spot I can find on the blue tarlatan, and I'm going to kind of wipe the top of the plate. So I'm going to take my tarlatan and, you know, I've heated up the plate here, right? So I have the hot plate on. Make sure you remember to turn the hot plate off after you're done. And I'm not going to let my tarlatan go down near the red. I'm only going to work on the top part of this because I want that to be nice and clean blue. I don't want it to be a, you know, to get like the purple color mixed in. I just want these two things to be kind of separate up at the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe this as well as I can up here. And you can kind of see how I'm working my way down towards that line, where the border, if you will, where the two things mix. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of polish it up to this point. Then I'm going to switch over to, you know, the red tarlatan. And find the dirtiest part on the red tarlatan. And again, we always work from the dirtiest to the cleanest in this class, right? So with rags or with tarlatans, we always want to start with the dirtiest possible one. And just kind of move it around like this. I'm just going to wipe carefully. And it's really easy to overwipe colors, I found a lot of times, because the colors kind of have a little bit of, you know, they're a little more translucent, a little more transparent, kind of hard to tell what's going on. So just take your time, don't scrub too much, just be patient and slowly work on kind of mixing you know, that ink around so that it kind of stops moving. So we've got our two, and then the border is still left to be done. So if there's a purple tarlatan, I'll go ahead and use that. In this case, I don't really have, you know, a purple tarlatan. So I'm just going to pick a spot on my red tarlatan, and I'm going to start kind of a purple place, and eventually this tarlatan will turn into like a purple one, and we'll start a brand new red one. So between the two, I'm just going to start, and you know, some people really try to make the border clean between these two things, but I'm going to go ahead and try and mix them. I want to try and mix my red and my blue colors together here, kind of in this background, so that I get a little bit of red that seeps up into the blue and a little bit of blue that seeps down into the red. And so just kind of keep working this over, and just kind of feather it down. And so this is, wiping plates is all just about practice. It's about learning by doing over and over and over again. And so, you know, you're not going to know what's going to happen the first time you do this. It's going to be kind of a big adventure and a big surprise. So don't stress. It's part of the fun of printmaking. It's actually exactly what's supposed to happen, is not know. And then what happens is something will pop out of the press, and then you'll have to figure out a way to kind of deal with it and cope with it. So I'm going to get a clean part now, and I'm just going to polish up the red, not purple anymore. I'm going to try and stay out of that purple zone. I'm just going to polish this up real quick. And then I'll switch over, you know, always kind of open these up and then put them back into the sort of spot that they're designated for that warm or cool color. Purple is sort of in between, but we'll keep it in the red one for now since that tarlatan is mostly red. Okay, and I'm going to get a clean part of the blue tarlatan now, and I'm going to try and polish up the top of this, because you can see there's still a lot of kind of plate tone that's left up there. So we're going to polish this. And I'll go ahead and I'll hit this with a little bit of newsprint just to kind of pop the white stuff out. And then I will run this through, I'll clean the edges and then I'll run it through the press and I'll show you what that looks like when it pops out the other side. Okay, so we're gonna look at what it looks like after you've printed all of Poupe prints right now. So again, that's mixing together multiple colors on your plate and then running it through all at once. So it's a way of getting more than one color out of here. And I could easily combine this together with 2 plates and I'd have 4 colors, or I could mix 6 colors on 2 plates. There's all kinds of different ways to think about making this, this happen. So here we go, the big reveal. So you get red at the bottom, blue at the top, and then kind of this interesting purpley mix. Like where the 2 pieces, the 2 colors kind of come together. And so a lot of artists will do this with a dark ink, like a really kind of a blackish brown ink, and then they'll add little tints to the colors to kind of give them multiple colors through there. They'll kind of, the name comes from this idea of little daubers, so they'll daub little bits of color onto the plate in little spots and wipe those up real carefully, and then those will only print like in bright yellow. That would print in bright yellow. Everything else is like a different color. So a la Poupe is a way of mixing more than one color together on a plate and then running it through the press just once and having it print out as you see here.